Hi, good afternoon, one and all. Welcome to today 10th biology. Today we are going to conclude the part respiration. Respiration. Already in the previous videos we completed the rest of the topics. Today, out of 20 topics are there in that respiration. Apart from that, already we completed the 15 topics. So today we are going to the rest of the 5 topics in this video. So first of all, we are coming to the evolution is in gaseous exchange system. Evolution in gaseous exchange system. I mean that from single cell organisms to multicellular organisms, of course, the gaseous exchange is the common phenomena of life process in all the organisms, but not in the same manner. I mean that the respiratory organs are originated from simple to complex. From the single cell organisms to multicellular organisms, the respiratory organs are derived or the generated or the exhibited in a different module. For case of for example, in case of the human beings, being a terrestrial organism, our respiratory organs are modified to terrestrial mode of respiration. Means our lungs are designed for gaseous exchange in the terrestrial mode of life. Whereas in case of aquatic organisms like fishes, their respiratory organs designed for that gaseous exchange in the oxygenated water. The oxygen which is dissolved in the water, obviously that should be absorption by the aquatic organisms. So it is clear. Evolution means gradual changes from simple to complex, single cell to multicellular organisms. So obviously the gaseous exchange is the common life process in all the living organisms as a life process, but certainly it should not be same in all the organisms from simple to complex or single cell organisms to multicellular organisms. There is a certain gradual changes are there. While coming to the Hydra and Planaria, actually Hydra belongs to Coelenterata phylum and Planaria belongs to Platyhelminthes. Even though these simple organisms, they can respire through the simple process like a diffusion process. There is no special type of respiratory organs at present. They can respire simply by the diffusion process. While coming to the terrestrial organisms, most of the terrestrial in the sense the organisms which lives on the earth. So obviously the terrestrial organisms, they are having the mechanism of respiration most probably by the lungs. So lungs are the respiratory organs in the terrestrial mode of life. I mean that our lungs are designed to exchange of gases on the terrestrial mode of life. While coming to the fishes, for example, in case of fishes, the fishes are lives in the water medium. So obviously 21% of oxygen is present in the atmosphere, whereas in case of water, the oxygen is dissolved only 10%. I mean that 50% of oxygen is trapped in the water medium. Even though the aquatic organisms can survive because of they are modified to that such type of respiratory organs. So the gills or gill pouches are located in the fishes. When the fish open the mouth, the water should be drawn to the oral cavity and it can be passes to the gill lamella or gill pouches. For example, this is a fish. So usually the fishes lives in a water medium. For example, these are the gill pouches. So when the fish open the mouth, the water should be passes along with the gill pouches. Directly the oxygenated water should supply to the gill lamella or gill pouches. So this is called as a bronchial respiration. The respiration which occurs in the fishes like aquatic organisms, such type of respiration is called as a gill respiration or bronchial respiration. This entire the aperture is called as a gill lamella. While coming to the some of the insects like cockroaches and grasshoppers, actually it is some interesting type of respiration. I mean that type of respiration which takes place in the insects is called as a tracheal respiration. Means for example, this is the structure of cockroach. This is the structure of cockroach. So entire the body is having the tracts. So this is called as a tracheal mode of respiration. Tracts are there. So the entire body is having tracts. So this is called as a tracheal respiration. I mean that the entire body should be passing the blood can pass throughout the whole body, so that there is no respiratory pigment. While absence of the respiratory pigment or hemoglobin, the blood is white in color in the insects. The blood is white in color in the insects because of the lack of the respiratory pigment like hemoglobin. So the type of respiration which occurs in the insects is called as a tracheal respiration. Tracheal respiration. So this is the thing. Next, coming to the some of the interesting questions they are going to ask, like for example, while coming to the crocodiles which are living in the water medium, like dolphins which are living in the water medium, they are supposed to be respire with the lungs. Even though they live in the water medium like crocodiles and dolphins, dolphins are mammals and crocodiles are reptiles. So both the reptiles and mammals and ales, these three are considered as the warm-blooded animals. So reptiles like crocodiles, next to dolphins like mammals, they can respire with the lungs. So lungs are the respiratory organs. While coming to the frog is a amphibian. They can live both in a terrestrial medium and aquatic medium. So while coming to the terrestrial mode of life, they can respire with the lungs. While the frog is living in the aquatic medium, they can respire with the gills. While they have to live in the some moist soil, they can live with the cutaneous respiration, skin. Earthworm and frog, the skin is a moist condition, so they can respire with the moist skin. That is called as a cutaneous respiration. So the respiration which takes place with the insects is called as a tracheal respiration. While coming to the frogs, skin, cutaneous respiration. Oral cavity, buccopharyngeal respiration. Next, skin is a cutaneous respiration. Through lungs is called as a pulmonary respiration. So these are the respiratory organs and respiratory systems which is exchange of gas-axillary pathway. Next, coming to the next we are moving to the plant physiology, plant respiration. Actually, in the first chapter nutrition, we have 50% plant physiology and 50% animal physiology. I mean that photosynthesis 50% and human digestive system, the enzymes and vitamins table 50%. But whereas coming to the second lesson respiration, we are having 70% of the animal respiration physiology topic. Only a few concepts, that means a few points are there which are related to plant respiration. Already we are having the knowledge about the plants can exchange the gases with the help of leaf with the stomatal aperture. So stomata structure already we studied in the 9th class, which are the opening and closing apertures which are present in the epidermal layer of the leaf. Gases exchange takes place. Apart from that leaves, the stems also can respire. That we are going to learn in the 10th class respiration topic. Next, some of the roots also they are having to respire in a particular condition. So these are called as adaptation in roots. So coming to the 10th class textbook page number. That stomata is the opening and closing aperture. Stomata is the opening and closing aperture. When the stomatas are open, the air should enter into the air spaces that should reaches to the phloem. So here the food is deposited in the phloem. So the oxygen can combine with the glucose and it should be release the energy, so that the plants can survive with the help of this respiration process. Next, coming to the stem portion, these are called as a plant stem. We can observe some white color spots on the black color stem portion. So these white color spots are actually ruptured parts. So directly the oxygen gas reaches to the stem. So these special apertures are present in the stem is called as a lenticels, that we call as lenticels. So lenticels are the respiratory organs which are present on the stem for gases exchange. Leaves we are having the stomata. So this is the information. Next, coming to the roots. Actually the roots are deposited in the soil for fixation of the plant, for anchoring the roots. But the plants usually which are grown in the saltly marshy land areas, those plants are called as mangrove plants. So in mangrove plants, the roots are submerged in the salt water. They are unable to take the oxygenated water. So in spite of that one, the roots are having some halo in structure and they are going to the some aerial mode of life, so that these roots are called as aerial roots or breathing roots. So aerial roots or breathing roots are generally we can observe from the seashore. So these are the having the some adaptation techniques in the roots. Next, coming to the activity number 3 and activity number 4. Activity number 3 and activity number 4. Activity number 3, it's very simple. Just intake of a fist of the moonga seeds or bajra seeds. Just we are going to soaking the seeds 1 or 2 days. After germination the seeds, just we are placing in a one thermo flask or one beaker. So a corner of the beaker, one small beaker we have to keep it and pour some lime water solution, lime water. So when we keep aside for a few hours or few days, obviously the germination seeds can respire and they can produce the carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide turns the lime water into milky white. So it can clearly says that respiration process occurs in the germination seeds and it should be evolved in the carbon dioxide as a end product. Next, germination seeds can release apart from carbon dioxide, heat is a main product. So when we are inserting the thermometer, it should be aware of certainly the knob of the thermometer should be deep into the touching of the germination seeds. Then first of all we have to take the initial reading of the thermometer. After few hours, while we are keeping the setup, enter the setup as shown in the figure. While we are taking the second reading, obviously there is a difference to the initial reading and final reading of the heat. So these differences clearly says about the heat is produced by the respiration process during the aerobic respiration. So germination seeds, obviously they can produce the heat. The heat should be measured by the thermometer. So both the activity number 3 and 4, they refer to that germination seeds. I mean that living organisms or living cells can produce the carbon dioxide and heat as a products of respiration. Next we move to respiration versus photosynthesis. While we are observing the equations of these two, carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight by chlorophyll, they can produce the glucose and oxygen. This is called as a photosynthesis. While we are observing the respiration topic, see, carbon dioxide and water by light by chlorophyll, this glucose, I mean that sugar plus water plus oxygen this is called as a balanced equation for photosynthesis. See, actually this is the equation tells us about this glucose is combined with oxygen, that is called as oxidation of glucose gives rise to carbon dioxide, water and energy. Next, these, for example, 6 molecules of oxygen is combined with the glucose and carbon dioxide, water and energy is released. So this is the simple equation of respiration. This is the balanced equation for respiration process. So this is the sugar, this is the glucose. So coming to that respiration versus glucose. Actually the photosynthesis end products are the glucose and oxygen and water vapor. Actually these are the beginning products of respiration. So photosynthesis versus respiration, it gives the information about photosynthesis means construction process, means carbon dioxide and water combined, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen and oxygen. So these carbon, oxygen, hydrogen combined to glucose, this is the construction process. This is called as an anabolic process. Whereas coming to the respiration means dividing process. In presence of oxygen can combine with the glucose and it can be break down the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. In presence of oxygen, hydrocarbons are burns and release the energy in the form of heat. So this is called as a catabolic process. So photosynthesis is a anabolic, means construction process, whereas coming to the respiration is a catabolic process. But both are very important for the living organisms. So both these called as a metabolic process or life processes. So photosynthesis is the energy supplying system. That means the food supplying system. But whereas coming to the respiration is the energy releasing system or energy producing system. So this is a clear difference between the photosynthesis and the respiration. Photosynthesis and the products are carbon dioxide, water vapor and glucose. These are the beginning products of respiration. So the plants can manage the photosynthesis and the respiration. Whereas coming to the photosynthesis, it occurs more in the daytime. Whereas coming to the respiration, it occurs more in the night time. So this is the first and the second chapter. So after completion of the chapter, we are thorough with these 20 subtopics from discovery of gases and respiration to last photosynthesis versus respiration. So while coming to the topic respiration, before you are going to that completion of the topic, you make sure to note down the 20 subtopics and you have to go through that each and every one by supporting the video, and also you can go through that Diksha app videos. Apart from that, you have to read the textbook thoroughly. Still you have any doubts, you contact with my number 9398 417 and 317. So this is my WhatsApp number. If you have still any doubts while reading the lesson respiration or watching the videos, immediately you have to make contact with me and I will clarify the doubts. Thank you children. Thank you very much.